SEGA SATURN SHIRO. Welcome everyone to PlayStation SHIRO. How's it going, guys? I'm Patrick, and today we are going to talk about the best console. Oh, this browser's up. That's breaking the thing. We're talking about the best console of all time, the PlayStation 1, baby. No Saturn stuff on this chat. Only PlayStation, baby. The good stuff. The good stuff. I want to welcome you guys to the show. How are you doing today, Dave?
What's up? I'm doing good. I am ready to talk about some PlayStation or Haystation or I don't know. There are other derogatory terms.
We don't talk about the derogatory terms here because we're all about the PlayStation. The Saturn, garbage system. Nobody bought it. Nobody likes it. Don't know
Saturn
a single
sucks.
person that likes it. Yeah. No, throw it in the
Who bought
garbage.
that thing? Seriously.
I think I need to go get a garbage can. Be right back. I need to get that. But anyways, welcome to the show, guys. Hopefully everyone's going well. Dave, how's your PlayStation orientated day?
My PlayStation, it's going good actually. I've been playing Final Fantasy 12, which is a PlayStation 2 game. So, helping Jesse out with that. He's like,
fair.
He's farther than I am in his game. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. I am digging all the quality of life improvements that the Switch version brought. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. So not
One of the
lie.
best games of all time,
Yeah,
if I might add.
You like it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
12 is one of the better Final Fantasy games. Definitely stepped it up from 9. Actually 10 is wait, no, 8. Sorry, 8 is garbage one. Sorry, 8 was bad. 8 was garbage. Don't play 8. 9 is good.
It's crazy.
10
it's
is
crazy
good.
because people are so well, we could talk about this because it is
Absolute trash.
so.
Exactly.
But that's the funny thing is then I hear some people being like, "Oh, I love 8. I love 8," and I'm like, I couldn't get into it, but there's those people out there that are like staunch defenders of 8. Me, I'm all over 9. I love 9. 10, I could take it or leave it. I really don't like I really don't like how it like lock you down on those paths. You know, I love how much more open 12 feels, and I mean, I just love the gambits and everything. I know it kind of plays itself, but you can get like really into the nitty gritty of like how micromanaging everything and menus, and that's all me. I love the strategy, so 12 is my jam for sure. But they added so much. They added the on-screen map. They added the like 2x and 4x multipliers. They added like so much cool stuff in it for the Switch version. So I'm loving it.
For sure, yeah. But
And I'm excited to see Sonic 2 tomorrow.
why? I thought you hated Sega.
Oh no! I just hate the Saturn.
Okay, the Saturn. Okay, there we go. The Saturn. I mean, there are some really good Sonic games on the PS2 and PlayStation 3. Okay, maybe not the PS3. Maybe not anything past the PlayStation 2, but there's a lot of good Sonic games on PlayStation 2. Not
Yes,
so
there are
much
some
the rest
good-
of them.
Yeah,
Got-
that's crazy.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to see Sonic 2. I think we're both seeing it tomorrow, right? Got the
That's right.
early preview
Yeah.
for that. It's gonna flaunt that a little bit. But yeah,
But what's crazy is that it came out today in the UK.
yeah.
Which I
Oh,
think is
there, yeah.
I think that's stupid, really. I mean, we're living in a completely globalized era where, social media being what it is and everything like that. It's like, why would you release a film a week early in another English-speaking country where people are gonna like want to talk about it? You know?
Gonna download it legally. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking, Sega. I'm joking. That's a bad joke.
Yeah,
Don't go to theaters and watch it when it comes out. Don't do anything weird.
If you are in the UK, if you're one of our UK listeners, you might have already seen it, and I've heard some good things already, so I'm really excited.
Exactly. But yeah, before we start, do we want to talk about a couple of our favorite PS1 games or PlayStation games in general? I only got PS1 games, but you can bring up some stuff if you want.
This is my game right here. Breaker Pro.
Breaker Pro. Is that so you can play all the illegally downloaded games?
I think that's right. Play PS1 imported games, but And it says on your PS2 console, but actually this works on PS1 as well, and it'll really just allow you to play any game.
Is that the one where you have to get like it comes with a little spring and you put it in there and you like prop it up?
No, that's funny. I have one of those too. That's a Swap Magic. Swap Magic was so that you could play burned PS2 games on the PS2. But this guy, this Breaker Pro was just you pop it into a PlayStation 1, boot it up, and then you pop in a CDR and you're off to the races.
That's pretty awesome.
So much back in the day, but actually these are really rare now. So I've held on to it.
Yeah, no, I actually have a modded PS1 that plays CDs right now. I don't play CDRs. I mostly do it so I can play my game that I want to talk about, which is of course Klonoa, Door to Phantom Mile, which this is the Japanese version of it because I don't have money to afford
because it's like a $500 game.
Yeah,
or something crazy like that.
But you know what's good about PlayStation now is guess what core is supporting it now? Mister. Yep.
Yeah.
Got a Mister core for that, so I'm gonna be playing that. But yeah, I'm very happy I can play all my discs, all the good games. But yeah.
The only game I noticed Pat had like this huge PlayStation collection. The only game that I actually had that I could grab is this Final Fantasy IX because I have 2 copies of it, and this one just happened to be like within arm's reach. The rest of my PlayStation games are like in some box, probably up in my. I've got a crawl space in the hallway that goes up there, and there's a bunch of stuff.
He only does that so he can protect them in like his Saturn games, which is all out in the open, so he can hit it with a mallet anytime he needs to.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the Saturn games are definitely more at risk right now since they just are right out in the open. All the PlayStation stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, I have all my Nintendo 64 stuff put away because that's telling, right? I don't really play that system very much. Sorry, guys. And then also my Super Nintendo, I've got that put away with all the games and stuff because I pretty much play that through emulation on the Switch or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. I do the same thing with my Mister, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course there's a lot of good games. Of course there's this one, which is the best version of Symphony of the Night. Has the cheesy dialogue and everything.
I want to say that they're saying my mic's a bit low. Do you want me to turn up my gain? I can do that.
I boosted you up a bit.
Okay, well I can lay off and I can let you do it on your end.
I boosted up. It should be loud.
Cool.
But
yeah, you're
Symphony.
right. That is. I agree. I think that's the best version. If Knight and Team Medusa, Paul Met are able to like get their versions together, their Saturn translation / quality of improvement versions together, I think that would probably dethrone the PlayStation version. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that though, because we're totally anti-Saturn here.
Yeah, Saturn, go to heck. But yeah, speaking of the Final Fantasy though, I actually have this on me right now.
Nice.
Which is one of my favorite ones. 7.
Yeah.
This is the special edition with the giant crack in the case. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, there's a giant crack down the middle.
It's so crazy. 7 is like, I don't know. It's like that game that everybody's supposed to love, and it's supposed to be so great. But I think it's one of those things where it just kind of got played out. Maybe I'm not saying it's not great, and I actually still enjoy it. But the truth is, I think it just got played out a bit.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. But I think it's still one of my favorites. I think the story's really good.
It's great for what it represents. I mean, it really was like the game that brought RPGs to the West.
Exactly, and it made the games great. And then of course, we can't talk about PlayStation or Capcom, which is of course one of my favorite Mega Man games. Mega Man.
And Mega Man.
Mega Man, eat dirt. Mega Man X4 and X5, 2 of my favorite ones. Actually, I think X5 is my favorite one.
Do you got that Bontron or whatever? What is it?
No, I don't have the $200 game now. Or $300 now.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if you bought it back when it wasn't that. No, but
I wasn't cool back then. But I do have this one as well. This is the best Resident Evil game that never got released on Saturn because Saturn was like, we don't take, because Saturn didn't get good games back then, so it didn't get Resident Evil 2.
So what is your absolute favorite PlayStation game? I know that's a hard question because considering the library is huge, but I mean, if you absolutely had to say your favorite PlayStation game.
So this technically, if you want to count the number of times I played it, I would have to say it had to be easily Siphon Filter.
Really?
is one of my
Wow.
favorites. It's really, really good.
I hate Siphon Filter.
You do? Why do you hate Siphon Filter for it?
Because when I worked at Sony, like, okay, I admit I hate it for the wrong reason. I had to when I worked at Sony doing like QA testing and stuff like that, I came in as a grunt, and while everybody else was getting to play PS3 because it was like brand new, I had to play PSP and do support stuff for PS2, like basically the old consoles that were like in the closet. They were like, here, you go sit in that corner.
Oh, you had to play
do
Logan's
QA.
Shadow, yeah.
So I had to play a bunch of Siphon Filter games and stuff like that. Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was Logan's Shadow that kind of like put me off of it. But it was
like
just
the worst one.
I have nothing but like traumatized feelings for that series, you know, for Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
And then when I finally graduated to be able to play PS3 games, I was like so psyched. Yeah, but anyway.
But yeah, no, it's kind of a sadness, and like I still think it's one of my favorite ones.
Siphon Filter is your favorite game on the PlayStation.
In terms of how many times I played it, yes.
I feel like I owe it to that game to go back and play the
first
original
one's
one.
really, really good. Like, don't play the other ones. The other ones are kind of garbage, but the first one is definitely the GOAT. It's like a lot of fun. It has great mechanics. I hate the second one because they make you play Leon, the assistant person, and like you get this. Like, I think the worst thing is you have to like go through a level where if you get caught, you get shot and killed because you're like you like literally have a robe and a taser. And it's like if you shoot the gun off, you get alerted and you die. You had to. It's really bad. I don't like those levels in the second one. I just think it's garbage. Don't just play. Just pretend that there was only one on the PlayStation. Play that one because that's the best one, in my opinion.
I will definitely check it out. I have to admit, sometimes I get prejudices against games for one reason or another that don't really have anything to do with like the base game. So I'll definitely go ahead and check it out. If you say it's good, then I trust you. What Paul is saying that I'm filtered, but I don't know what he means. So
it's like you're
Paul.
like triggered, I guess.
Okay, filtered. I got you. Nice.
What is your favorite game, Dave?
Well, it's easy answer. Parasite Eve is my favorite game on the original PlayStation.
Oh, you're talking about this one right here?
There you go, Parasite Eve. I wish this game, if it's this, my answer to that question is the same answer if somebody asked me what game I wish had come out on the Saturn, or what game I wish could be made for the Saturn. It would be Parasite Eve. I absolutely love that game, and I'm hoping that we see like a high-res remake of it someday.
It's really good though. It's so unique.
Jesse to be able to play it, but like,
It's violent for him though, doesn't it?
It's pretty. Yeah, but of course, by the time they make a high-res remake, which maybe never, he might be old enough to play it.
Oh wait, yeah, also another favorite, Castlevania. I guess if I had to pick another one.
Yeah.
I play that the most.
There's a bunch that are way up there, like Vagrant Story, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. Those are all like way up there. Final Fantasy Tactics. But I think if I had to choose, I love the whole like New York, Chinatown, gritty, cop, and like she's kind of on a case, and she's got that scientist with her and stuff like that. And you're like sleeping in a crack house, and you're like raiding pharmaceutical. You're raiding like the whatever,
Honestly, I really need to sit down and play those games. I think I'm gonna do a thing where I think Saturday I'm gonna sit some time and actually play my Mister, because the PlayStation Core is up and running. Yeah. I think I'm gonna rip a bunch of discs tonight that I legally own that I don't get off of the piratebay.com and play them. But one of the things I do love about the Saturn is how many unique, really off the wall games that they released for it. Like of course both the Lunar games, of course, is like because this only localization of that, of course, because it's the best. And then of course stuff like Punky Skunk, which I think is ridiculous that this game came out. This is a Jalico game actually, which I think is interesting because I love Jalico.
Skunk is great. Yeah,
we just got so much bizarre games for it.
I got a question for you, Pat. So how old were you when the PlayStation was at the height of its prominence, like the original PlayStation? Like 99?
99. Like I was about 7. That's when the Dreamcast came out, because I remember I actually, fun fact, I didn't get a PlayStation until 2001.
Okay. So then you don't really. So a lot of your memories of PlayStation stuff like that are from like the mid 2000s. Getting it from there.
Yeah, about that, like a bunch of garage sale finds, a lot of games like that. But
cool. Okay.
the funniest thing though is that when I was younger, I had a choice between getting a PS2 or a skateboard from Tony Hawk, and you could probably guess what that answer was.
From Tony Hawk, like
it's one of his. I think it was I think it was Falcon 2. I think I got.
Okay.
The board. It's the one with like the guy that's like clawing down the thing, the eagle. It was really cool design, but I decided to go with the skateboard. So
you did, yeah.
And I didn't get a PS2 until 2010.
Yeah, that's fine. You, I mean, the thing is, you could come to PS2 at almost any time, but if you came to it late, then you had the benefit of like a huge library of games. You know.
Yeah, and there still is a bunch of cheap titles for it.
Yeah, a lot of those early blue CD games were a little rough around the edges. I mean, there were a few good ones like Eco and
wasn't Jack and Daxter? Was Jack and Daxter CD, right?
Yeah. There were a handful of really good early PS2 games, but some of them were a little rough around the edges. So
I just think it's crazy though that I didn't know those were CDs until recently. I thought those were DVDs.
Is that right? Or like Blu-rays?
No, I didn't think it was Blu-rays. I thought they were C. I just thought it was kind of weird. DVDs. Like I didn't realize that. Oh yeah, the discs are the regular discs are DVDs, but there's actually one game I do want to the PS2 that I was thinking of getting, but I think I'm gonna invest in a PS2 FTP server instead. Which reminds me, if Emerald's listening, send me that memory card. I'll give you the money for it.
Oh, okay. You're gonna do. I see what you mean.
I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna put all your games on a NAS and do the over the LAN.
Yeah,
cool.
I think I'm gonna do that just so I can, because like the games are getting really pricey nowadays, and it's like even the PS1 got pricey, and now the PS2. It's like the titles I want are now like in the hundreds. Like I was trying to make a deal today with somebody on Klonoa, and it just was too out of my price range, and it wasn't their fault. It's just the prices of the games is crazy. Like it's kind of a sadness, but I don't blame people for wanting to get the prices for what they are, because it's like it's a buyer's market essentially. I mean, if you can make it off of that, I highly agree with people that want to sell them and make that money, because like there's a lot of life-changing money. Like I even told people, I showed the photo, they thought that was a pickup. Is like, man, that's like a couple $1,000. Seller's market, sorry.
I know.
Seller's market night.
Can you show us that copy of Jumping Flash?
Sure.
That was fire right there. First of all, I love Jumping Flash, and second of all, I love your Sega long box copy, which is that case right there came from Sega of America, and
really?
Sony. They ran out of their like cardboard cases, I guess. So they ran out. They needed to buy. They needed like a stopgap before they were going to make the small. What do you call it? The
CD cases?
Regular CD jewel cases, yeah. So there was this period of time where Sega had a crap ton, and you'll notice if you look at the little tabs, they should be the small ones, like the little poles that hold the tabs on. It should be the Sega CD version. Those are like leftover cases from the Sega CD.
Wow.
Pre Saturn, so yeah, those they bought a bunch. Sony bought a bunch. They were talking to Sega back in the day.
Yeah.
They bought a bunch just so they could put those out. So you have like the cardboard cases, then you have like those plastic long boxes, and then you have the small jewel cases, and then you have the double jewel cases. The PlayStation games come in so many different flavors in terms of the cases and stuff. So
it makes you wonder which one's the rare one, if it's the first one or it's that one.
Both of those are pretty rare. I would say both of those are pretty rare, because they didn't see that many. And then a lot of those games got republished as like greatest hits and stuff.
I really want to get Jumping Flash too. I don't have that one.
Just to acknowledge some folks in the comments, I think AM was who said, let's talk about a good console, the Atari Jaguar, and somebody said 3DO for the win, which I love 3DO too. So I don't want. I always like to acknowledge 3DO whenever I have a chance. It's one of those consoles I think doesn't get as much respect as it deserves. But yeah, definitely. Jaguar sucks. I'm sorry, I can't. No, the thing is, and I don't know if anybody can relate to me on this, but when you buy, sometimes you find yourself in a lucky position where you can buy a console with a lot of games for a pretty good amount, for a pretty good price. So it's like, I got to do this. I got to grab this console because this is such a good price. But then you end up with a console and like 5 games, and you can't afford any more games for it because actually buying new games for it is just ridiculous, prohibitively expensive. And if it's a really sucky console, you don't want to shell out that much money for like a game that you know you're gonna like play once. You know, that's what it would be for if Jaguar. Like I've seen one come up on OfferUp. It was like $300 with 1 or 2 games, and I was like, but if I buy that, I'm gonna have to get more games for it, and I don't want to buy Jaguar games.
I don't want to buy Jaguar. Period.
Yeah. I'm
one
happy
game.
to live vicariously through folks who love it. You know, that's
We'll wait
fine
for Mr.
me.
Core. But yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I just think it's just crazy though. A lot of these games are jumping up in price. Like, I bought these 2 games, Silent Hill and Castlevania. I got them, I think, 50 and 60, and they jumped up like 155 or like 200 for this, and like 120 for this. It's like, what is going on with these games?
That's just the retro game market, really.
It's just crazy how much the pandemic jumped them up.
Yeah, so My Life in Gaming just released a video about the Mister, and
I was watching that a little bit.
I could only get into a little bit. It's huge. It's like I'm gonna have to like watch it in chunks.
It's a 2-hour video, so it's like you got a lot of watching.
It got me thinking, and I was gonna ask you a question. Like, really, when it comes to the Mister versus an emulator, the Mister is always going to do one thing, and that is focus on being as accurate as possible, and if anything, it'll be 1-to-1. It's going to literally emulate the hardware 1-to-1. So then improvements and enhancements aren't really possible, right? Like the folks that are like taking Saturn games and like upscaling them like crazy, like internally, the internal resolution or like the polygons, like rendering them out with like more polygons and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know, honestly.
It wouldn't be possible, right, with the Mister, because the Mister is just seeking to be cycle accurate and be like 1-to-1 to the original hardware, right?
It depends. Like, I think there's definitely upscalers built into it now, putting them that way, and there's definitely way, because like if you want to do like VGA could do that that way, the analog connection, but there's definitely different aspect ratios. There's definitely a scan line stuff it could do. So there's definitely, I wouldn't want to rule it out. I'm not gonna say definitely no and definitely yes. I think anything could be possible with it, which I'd be down for. But
have you seen that? Have you like messed around with some like I don't know if it's Yabao's or Mednafen that does that, where essentially you could take like Burning Rangers and you could play it in like 4K. And
honestly, I have not
upscale the polygons, the rendered polygons to like they're really sharp. But it can't. It has to do some kind of filtering thing with the textures. But it's interesting. It's interesting that's one way. That's the one thing I think you get out of emulation that is worth something. Like, you know, you could take the PC2 SX or whatever, the PlayStation emulator for PC, and if you have a beefy enough PC, you could literally play like some of these older PS2 games, and they look absolutely amazing. You know, look almost better than some of the HD remakes. You know, so that's one thing that I will say is a good argument for emulation, but.
Oh, for sure.
I still think I like the Mister, the idea of the Mister, just because it's like so many different consoles.
Mister. But yeah, I just think like I said, I really enjoy it. It's like having all those consoles and having them cycle accurate and having them on the TV, I think is amazing. Like I don't need to worry about like getting upscalers and all that. Just plug in and turn my brain off. That's it. Which I like.
By the way, what are we watching on the video wall?
Oh, that's the, I mean, that's for our PlayStation videos, you know?
That's the
PlayStation
like
promo videos, you know?
OG video, the promo video? Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot of videos going back there. That's the promo videos. I mean, obviously Sony were good, and they just showed all their tech demos off for the pre-release and stuff, you know? I mean, they don't need to show off the game, just the graphics, you know? It's what mattered, right?
Basically, that was like PlayStation all the way, even the PS2 with that Fanavision was just a glorified tech demo, you know, for their particle engine.
Yeah,
basically.
Hopefully you don't notice that the TVs are slightly off center in some aspects, but hopefully no one can notice that.
I don't think so.
That's
Looks
fair.
good to me.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a little bit of work in Premiere Pro. A little bit of fixing.
You know what I did?
What?
To make that, I just took one video and I just applied a filter to it that just like multiplies it.
Really?
It's just like there's just like a filter. You take one video and you just say, yeah, I want it to be a 6x6 grid or something like that, and it just like renders it.
I wish I knew about that. I did it manually with Premiere Pro.
I am impressed you did it manually. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that, but you know, when you don't know,
Yeah.
But next time I'll use that. But no, that's the fantastic screens of PlayStation. We switched them out for some cool CRTs. We switched the CRTs out so they look different and a little bit off center. So it's all good. But yeah, I guess in closing, I guess
What do you mean in closing?
Oh yeah, I meant sort of talking about the PlayStation stuff. Is that I just
We're
think
not
it's
done
really
talking about the PlayStation.
We're not done?
We're gonna spend this whole cast talking about play. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah,
I think we actually have to talk about some real news, don't we?
Yeah, but I just want to say that I really appreciate, as much as I do, as we joke about the PlayStation being something that. No, I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus, C1. I was using an example. It's the way it is with the pricing, but I don't blame you. I hope you get all the money for it because you deserve it. But anyways,
yeah.
I guess in closing, yeah, I really enjoy it. I'm glad that we got PlayStation because we got stuff like this, and we got all those weird, obscure games, which I'm a big fan of, and all the weird Japanese stuff that a lot of people didn't want to take a chance on, and it was easy to implement. So I really think that I'm happy for the PlayStation. I really love the PlayStation. I know you and me are both PlayStation fans. Even though Saturn's number one in our heart, I mean, we just gotta be real about it, and we gotta be honest, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was kind of a little resentful back in the day about how well PS1 did over Saturn, but I couldn't really. You can't really blame them for trying to like run their business right, you know, and not make all those terrible mistakes, you know. And at the same time, you know, I was kind of angry at the American consumer for completely ignoring Saturn, but you couldn't blame those people when, you know, a lot of times the first thing they saw of the Saturn was like Daytona and those like janky polygons and drawing and being like, yeah, I'm gonna go with I don't know, whatever at the time looked a hell of a lot better, like Jet Moto or something like that on the PlayStation, you know. But yeah, so I don't know. We both love PlayStation. Pat loves to wear his shirts on the show, you know, even when it's not appropriate.
Unfortunately, I'm really rude about that.
I mean, I will be a Saturn fan, a diehard Saturn fan for life. But my PlayStation lives right next to my Saturn, and yeah, it's chipped, and I've got a lot of retail games, but I also have like folders of burned CDs and stuff like that because gotta play me some PlayStation, and there are quite a few games that I wish had come out on Saturn, but what can you do?
I mean, the best thing is that you get to
them both, play them both.
Play both.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, the only limit now is the prices, but now with the Mr. Core, like, let's get a Mister. You can play PlayStation 1 on it now. And, like, I mean, like, you don't have to get any upscale, just, like, PlayStation Core, rip your discs, put it on the Mister, bam, you got the perfect way to play PlayStation on your TV. Hook up a PS4 controller, you're good, you're solid, you're good as gold. So, yeah,
the cool thing with PlayStation, I will say before we close, is just getting to see it last so long. Like that's the one thing with like the PlayStation and the PS2. I guess even the PS3 to an extent. Like now they seem like they're moving away from their hardware a little faster, but like PlayStation lasted a long time. Like it enjoyed a really long life from 95 all the way up through 2001, you know, or I don't know, maybe 2002.
I think 2003. I got games on it in 2002.
Yeah, and I mean, like a lot of those late games were really good games too. Like, so I mean, yeah. What was Final Fantasy IX? That was 2000. So I mean, and then much after that, you know, you had good games coming out for the PS1, and I always felt like it would have been that way for the Saturn had they not like pinched it off so quick, you know. I mean, it was. If you looked at it in Japan, you got a lot of great games late in the game, like Grandia and you know, other stuff, Deep Fear, but we just didn't get that over here because they just didn't allow it to, you know. I guess it just couldn't do well enough on the market to be able to sustain itself. But anyway, I guess that's us done with this little I don't know, you want to call this an April Fool's joke?
I would say it's kind of like a mixture of both. So it's like
I was gonna say it's kind of a lazy April Fool's joke. We didn't really want to do all the work to make it like a full blown thing. Plus, people would probably get mad if we kept too straight a face. So yeah, but we both love PlayStation. Don't get us wrong, and 3DO.
PlayStations, player Saturns. Put the 3DO in the garbage. That's my opinion. No, but anyways,
N64. You have a word on that?
I have no words for it.
No, you have no comments, nothing to say.
My mother used to tell me, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Just don't say anything. There you go.
So I'm just gonna. Mum's the word on that.
If N64 got Resident Evil 2, Saturn definitely should have. So that kind of
makes
me
fair.
mad. That's
fair. But yeah, did we want to talk about the first news article that we have? The Waska cart migrates to a faster modular architecture, and I thought this was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's funny that Bob got to talk about this before we did, because I wrote it on Monday, and he does his thing on Wednesday, so it's like we don't get to talk about it until Shiro Show. Yeah, so shout out to Hitomi 2500 for making this call. I think this is a pragmatic call too, because he did mention chip shortage or inability to get a hold of those Alteras. This is probably more available. It's also faster. It's also modular. I mean, there's so many upsides to this. Basically, you take this SODIMM stick with an FPGA on it and just stick it into an edge connector on this carrier cart, basically. That's awesome, because I think there are probably a lot of folks out there who can assemble these then. You know, like a carrier cart seems like a pretty simple thing to make. I mean, if you do this kind of thing normally, you know, and then you just slot that SODIMM, sorry, not SODIMM, you slop that FPGA in there.
Slope it in.
It literally just looks like a ramp stick. It's funny. And then, you got yourself, now the Wi-Fi card, the Wi-Fi module that he wants to add, I guess would have to be additional to this somewhere on the board, but definitely, I think that would be a good idea, because it seems like that's the way the industry is moving with these things. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see Crix or other folks like building this in as building Wi-Fi in as just like a standard thing that can be turned on, for future uses.
So my question is, I was a bit confused. Was he looking at this as a like a EverDrive thing, or like a loan games, or is he?
Yes. The answer to all the questions is yes. Like, essentially, this seeks to be the one thing to rule them all. Like this could be a pseudo Saturn. It can load bootloaders, so it can do pseudo Saturn. It can do extra RAM, like a lot of extra RAM for stuff that's like beyond spec, like the Heart of Darkness proto. It might even be able to run boot and run, depending on compatibility, STV ROMs, arcade ROMs, because those actually utilize the larger area of RAM. It might be able to do, if it has Wi-Fi support, it may be able to load games off of RetroNAS. Will
it be able to scrub my back?
It may not be able to scrub your back, but there might be an attachment for that. There might be like a dongle.
I don't like the word dongle in this aspect of scratching things.
No, but essentially it's limitless. Like, the potential of this thing is limitless if it can really bring it beyond just this proof of concept. But yeah, I mean, essentially, what was the other thing that it could do that I'm forgetting? Oh, it could act as a platform for developers to deliver smallish games, I think he said like 48 megabytes, which you could do a nice little homebrew game in that amount. But I think you could also just stream data off of a disk, and then it would be held in the card, and it would be able to like stream off the card really quickly. So I don't know, there's just a lot of capability in this cart.
And I do like the fact that he's looking at it's going to be about $100 to manufacture. I wonder if that's going to be... I wonder how much that would be probably for an MSRP. Would you probably guess... If I had to take a gander, maybe like 180 to 200 if I had to take a guess after all the shipping and stuff?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was going to say at least 150, realistically. And that's... I don't think they're actually going to sell it themselves. I think there's, Hitomi is hinting at the fact that it's probably going to be other folks stepping up and assembling it. But since it is open source, that's everything is pretty available. Like all the information is available. I think that like I was talking to Will from Will's console modifications. He was saying like he's having a baby and he's getting really busy, so he's probably not going to be able to do it anytime soon. But he definitely was like, I'm have a marginal interest in the possibility of assembling some of these, and it's like it's possible that Cafe Alpha may be able to do them. He's expressed an interest, so. That's the thing. It remains to be seen, like how quickly this is going to come about and whether it's going to be commercially available, even for a small niche market. But I think $100 is a realistic cost to manufacture, and then he's going to have to mark it up. So, like you said, probably like $200. If he can make it $200 or less, I think people will.
It could be
satiator's $250.
Yeah, it
needs to be
$260, $270. Yeah. It'd be a satiator killer, which would be insane.
It would be a satiator killer, quite frankly. I mean, and I have a satiator. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it would be a satiator killer because of all the added. I mean, it would all that added benefit in the form of a cart, which is what everybody wants. Everybody really wants just like another EverDrive. They can pop in there with an SD card, play all their games, and be able to use their VCD card where it is. Keep the VCD card, keep the disc.
Keep it where it is. Keep it in its home. Yeah, and I think that's insane. Yeah.
So I mean, this is really what the Saturn needed all along, and I mean, I'm glad that somebody's really trying to make it a possibility, because the gamer's cart is cool. We've had a lot of these little niche solutions that allow you to do some stuff, but we haven't had like this, one device to rule them all kind of thing. There have been compromises across the board. Now there is one concern that everybody brings up, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have brought up. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the Saturn's cart slot is very finicky, as we all know. So unless you're one of those people who just like sets it and forgets it, I'm not. I work for, we do Saturn coverage, so we have to test different devices all the time. And you put
the thing is that I think the issue is that I think the cart slot killers, all the third-party ones that are just big and chonky, where it's like the huge things.
I mean, but at this point, like everything it's so old. They're so old. They're getting worn out. Sorry, my mind's in the gutter. But anyway, so
your mind's always in the gutter, Dave. When is it not in the gutter? Like, can you name a time it's not? Like, come on.
I don't know.
Let's do it, Dave.
Anyway, the point is that I've had my own OEM backup carts corrupt over bad connection in the cart slot, and I mean, luckily I've been able to bring them back from death, using that trick that Peter taught me. But essentially, I've had the netlink. I mean, I've been trying to dial up Anthony, and do netlink stuff, and it turns out my netlink had to be reseated because it's just not making a proper connection.
Yeah.
And it's like, so even for OEM stuff at this point, with the consoles being this old, that's my main concern,
Yeah,
the
it's a bit of a shame.
Has the benefit of that, like, Virgin. There I am again, but that Virgin slot, that VCD card slot, it just hasn't seen that much.
The uninserted, But no,
I'm so sorry.
The immature. No. Anyways, it's. I get what you mean, though. I think only time will tell if they could figure it out and make it not. Trying to, Jesus, Dave. Make it not crazy and like it not like corrupt as much, but I'd be down for it.
I mean, I would love it if somebody in if somebody in our scene would come up with a mod, like a replacement cart slot. I mean, I would pay to send in my Saturn and have somebody solder a new cart slot on, or if somebody could figure out a real, like, feasible way to fix our cart slots, because I've heard those pins are so tiny and there's so many of them. It's not a doable thing to try to like bend them back in place. I've tried, it doesn't work. And I've heard people say, oh yeah, you take you take a credit card and you stick paper towel on it and you try to like put alcohol on it and clean them that way. I don't know. I've tried that too. I've tried everything with that cart slot, and it's rough. Like
the sadness.
it plagues every single one of my Saturns. Is that cart slot? So seriously, if go ahead, Pat. I didn't mean to.
I was gonna say I was gonna say that I really hope they do. What were you gonna say? Sorry about that.
That's it. Like, yeah, I don't know how feasible that is because obviously it's a very proprietary part. But if somebody could figure out a way to make a new one and charge like $50 for a service where I pay to ship in my Saturn and you put in a new cart slot, I would pay you to solder on a new cart slot.
Yeah, but I'm excited. And only really time will tell what occurs with this, but I'm really excited to see this device, and hopefully we'll be able to get that out relatively soon-ish.
Yeah,
and by soon I mean at least 2 years.
Interesting thought, though. Interesting thought. I'm just gonna say this before we're done. So this is an FPGA, right? Mm-hmm. And it may not be able to handle, like 5th gen games and stuff like that, FPGA wise, but it might be able to handle Genesis games, on the FPGA. Oh wait. Anthony was saying that there's a problem with the cart not being able to output to VDP2 or something. So never mind, strike that. I was gonna say it would be cool if we could finally use that cart slot to play Genesis games like everybody thought we would be able to back in the day. Put some Genesis ROMs on the SD card, do that. But
yeah.
No, I don't think that's going to work, actually, after all.
My thing is...
mixing conversations.
Am I mixing conversations? We'll speak up.
We cannot do the VCD through the card slot because we don't have access to the VDP2.
Yeah, but somebody... Okay.
Genesis is possible, and if need be, you can also use the additional SH2s for additional power. So you can have like the FPGA emulate certain parts, and then the SH2s emulate the other parts. So you can get more power of it.
Wouldn't it just be easier though to just do a Genesis core on the FPGA and then use the Saturn for just like I/O and video?
All depends on how much bandwidth and stuff we have for the card slot.
Right.
It's also a good point. I forgot to even ask. Can you even stream stuff directly to the to stuff to like emulate the CD drive? Would that be even possible?
You would have to emulate the entire CD drive through the FPGA, but that part is possible. Yes.
Because my thing is like, why didn't Abrasive go through that? Is it just like the thing that he has isn't exactly an FPGA?
That I don't know. I don't know his work.
I think that Abrasive, I believe that Abrasive approached that entire project coming at it from an angle of trying to exploit the sound system, because that was the impetus for the whole project, was to try to exploit the Yamaha and do another like MIDI chiptune cart or something like that. And that's just what he found was like the easiest way to get to it. And then he was like, oh, I've stumbled onto something bigger. I could use the VCD card slot as an entry point to the CD block or whatever. And I don't know, but there's obviously more than one way to skin a cat. Sorry for folks who love cats. And I just think that, this is just another way. And I think that it's a more obvious way. It's the way that, even Bob mentioned it, like everybody's really just been waiting for a cart that could do all this,
Yeah.
That would basically be like an EverDrive. We call the satiator like an EverDrive, but it's kind of, but it's not. Like a cart really would be like putting the final nail in the coffin in terms of what we really need.
It'd be the ultimate ODE for your Saturn. Like it'd be the be all end all. It'd be like, I want the be all end all right there, because like nowadays there's a debate. It's like between the mode, the Fenrir, the satiator, like there's a whole debate between all of them, even the Raya, and it's like, but this one it's like, yep, that's the be all end all. RAM, got the FPGA stuff, can maybe play Genesis if they do that, play games off it. That's the be all end all. That's what we want.
It comes in a cart, so it's a more rugged overall kind of thing. Honestly, and I think that it would be cool. I think it's cool that he's going with the stick, kind of the modular unit, because even that hints at the possibility of being able to swap it out for something better.
Yeah.
And technology gets cheaper. These things get cheaper. It just seems like that's a really good way to go. So. yeah, I mean, folks might even be able to upgrade. I mean, this is of course completely hypothetical, but I mean that's logic leads you to believe that it would be something upgradable. But anyway, we'll let you know when we know more.
Exactly, and we'll definitely, if and when this does come to the market, we'll definitely give you our full opinion on it, and we'll let you know.
And if you have any interest whatsoever, like if you do soldering, if you do engineering and stuff like that, and you have an interest in assembling these, it's open source. There's a link on the wasca.info. There in this article, click through this article. There is a link at the bottom that welcomes assemblers to get in touch. There's a little form you can fill out, and tell me 2500, can let you know what you need to do to be able to assemble these things. So there you go.
Sounds good. All right, should we move on to the next article?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is by Danthrax. This is a new effort to recreate Sonic Extreme.
Yay! Thanks, Danthrax.
Yep. So homebrew programmer by the name of what's his name? Let's see where his name is.
Voxel.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Voxel. Yeah. He put a video basically as a rendition of Sonic Extreme. It kind of looks like. Kind of reminds me of what XL2 was working on.
Yeah, the textures, that was my so obviously he's got the fisheye lens right going on, and I do remember the famous commercial. So it moved a lot faster, mind you, but they probably sped up the footage. If I'm being honest, they probably did that. But so it definitely looks a lot like the original commercial. But the thing is that a lot of the texture work and stuff like that does remind me of the Sonic Z-Tream stuff. So I don't know if he just ripped the textures from Sonic Z-Tream.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past anybody to work together in the Sega Extreme community. Like, I don't think anybody has an issue with that either. It's like, here's this model, go for it.
Right? I think Z-Tream was open source, right?
Yeah, it should be.
I can't answer that off the spot. But I believe it was. And so but he went ahead and turned it into the whole fisheye thing, and it basically mimics the commercial. The thing is, at that time, Sega was really spitballing, different ideas. You were like, okay, let's try this, let's try everything, and see. There were quite a few different versions of Sonic Extreme. There was even one that was like this little really windy kind of like water park slide kind of thing that you'd go on that was like even different from this, but yeah, it's interesting. What do you think?
I'm looking in the chat. Danthrax and AM25 are saying the textures are for the original Sonic Extreme that leaked.
On the PC one, there was like a Windows PC version or something like that.
I believe so, yeah. So these are the original textures that leaked out. That's pretty cool then. So my only thing is that, do we know if the fisheye was intentional in the game, or was that just a cool like hip effect that they used in the video? That's my only thing. I believe
that the fisheye engine was a version of Sonic. They were trying to figure out how to take Sonic into 3 dimensions, and the way that the fisheye would work is that it would give you. The way that it turns, like the sphere turns, it kind of, how it turns faster on the outside than it does on the inside?
Yeah.
And that almost kind of gives you like a sense of speed, like a fake sense of speed. And that's the thing is, I think that they were trying to figure out how they would make this, how they would make Sonic on a 32-bit platform feel fast, And yeah, they actually were developing, it was only ever a Windows. It was never running on Saturn hardware, though. It was running on Windows back in the day. And it was a one-dude thing, One guy did this on his computer, and it was spec'd so that it never would have run on the Saturn hardware. They would have had to really gimp it to get it running on Saturn. But here you go. They figured out a way to do it. Although the frame rate is a little low, I would say this looks to be about like 15 or 20 frames at most.
I mean, the fact that it's running at all is fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're saying in the chat, that XL2 didn't help at all with this, and it was just all voxel that did this, which I think is pretty cool.
I think then that what it must be is that XL2 must have used those sprites as well.
Yeah, because it leaked from the
with
Extreme.
The flowers, because I don't ever remember seeing those flowers in the commercial, but then again the commercial moves so fast.
Yeah,
maybe I just missed it. So I kind of associated those flowers with his version of Z-Tream, but they probably all just ripped it from the same source. Yeah, there's the. Yeah, the original commercial had like these drums that were kind of like the Van Halen "Hot for Teacher," and it was like guitar, really blazing guitar, and you had like Mario. You had like this fat guy representing Mario. He looked like he worked for them, like he was a member of the mafia or something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of drums, funny. I forgot to mention last week, R.I.P. Taylor Hawkins.
Oh, I know, man.
Did we talk? Was that before? Was that after last show? Was that?
That was after last show. I want to say that was. I don't know. You. I think you were trying to call me, and I literally was like had my hands wet because I was giving my baby girl a bath, and I couldn't answer my phone. But yeah, no, that's so sad. He was a great drummer, and I saw him live. He was absolutely fantastic and a great musician in general. He played multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah, I unfortunately skipped on seeing the Foo Fighters this year because I just got busy that day, and I kind of really regret it. Yeah. It's like I didn't. But to be fair, I didn't realize that it was gonna be his last show.
I mean, he was so young. I mean, nobody ever plans on that kind of thing.
But yeah, I guess just want to shout RIP. I forgot to mention that, but I guess going back to the game on that sad note.
No, that's okay. I mean, yeah, sorry. I mean, that's how our brains work,
Yeah,
but yeah. So this is cool. This is a cool. I'm glad Dantrax was able to get this up on the site like before the show, so we could talk about it.
Yeah, so it's a lot of cool, and looks like he's gonna let this use this engine, let people reuse it for other games as well and other things. So it'd be really cool to give me more platforms in the style or see people improve upon it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's made this playable yet, but I'd love to reach out to him and be able to try this out on our Saturns, if he would let us. So if you guys in the chat could reach out to him, let him know. We'd love to try this out for the show and play it a bit. So,
yeah, definitely. And I mean, I'd love to see what happens. I'd love to see them maybe build even more levels, do more textures, and
or like make a map maker, and you can make your own maps.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be cool. I definitely think though that the biggest challenge is trying to figure out where to go with it from there, because it's like it was an interesting idea. But the fisheye camera is kind of gimmicky, and it's like, what can you do with a level that's kind of like structured like this? So I think the challenge here would be to change it a little bit and try to figure out how to make it more puzzly, or how to make it just work cohesively, so he's not just so that it feels more like a game, But for what right now they're just trying to recreate exactly what it looked like back in the day, so that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely keep an eye out on this. Hopefully we'll be able to play this soon. I think I'd love to try this out myself. So
yeah. One more thing I will say is that this is kind of where this idea of the world rotating kind of thing, and is kind of where Knights kind of what informed Knights with the 2.5D, and you're going around like a rotating axis. They did the same thing, but they just did it a heck of a lot better with Knights. Because of the ability to fly. Obviously. Yeah. Sonic didn't have that.
Oops, I don't want to load that up. Had me do an Xbox thing.
Next, we're gonna talk about Best of Saturn. It was the Tomb Raider 2.
Yeah, of course. Saturn. This is my favorite version of the game on Saturn. So this has been recently unearthed of the Saturn version of Tomb Raider 2, which was actually completed in '97, but due to the deal with Sony, they kind of buried it between the hardware and say that it was hardware limitations. But it's actually the opposite, where in fact that it actually is better on the Saturn, because it has bigger locations, more actions and secrets, and less prismatic depictions of the heroine. Heroine. I said heroine. I thought. Whatever. And the new code's way easier to access. It's actually, we list it in detail on the site. All you have to do is...
I think it's just in the menu. It's just like close
right
on,
there.
Close off.
Exactly. Right? It's so easy to activate it. So...
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's available on Saturn. You can download it places. And yeah, this is available. It's real. It's not fake. Yep, see? Got the X button for X start select on the Saturn. That's the next Saturn X button.
Peter said he didn't really like Tomb Raider 2 as he didn't like it that much. Me, I played it probably. I think I actually played 2 before 1 on the PlayStation, and I liked it. So I don't know, but I had a lot of fun doing that Tomb Raider cast with you guys, and it was
a lot of
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, Peter was obviously like probably the biggest fan of the game and played all of them pretty much extensively. But yeah, I enjoyed both 1 and 2. Didn't really get into the rest of the series after that, but yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Probably not.
We'll cover the Saturn version next time. All right. And I guess for the last video, this is like last second that Cwin brought up to my attention. This is Metal B's Sakura Wars retrospective video series. So, I mean, everyone knows about Pandemonium reviews. You know, reviews all these Saturn games. This is kind of in that same nature where Matty B is currently. I don't know if he's going to do all of them, but he's currently in the works of reviewing all these Sakura Wars series of games. So he's so far done Sakura Wars columns. He's done Sakura Wars 1, and he's done Sakura Wars 2. So I think it's really cool, and it's really good that these games are getting the attention that they deserve. Also, that's pretty funny. But essentially, for those who don't know, Sakura Wars, I mean, you probably know if you watch the show, Sakura Wars is basically a RTS / dating sim / visual novel where you're a certain male character in this theater of all women, and you sort of relationship them per se, and try to like build relationships and fight demons in Tokyo. It's really good. It's like Fire Emblem mixed with, actually it's kind of like the newer Fire Emblem games, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's going and reviewing all these games and talking about them, and yeah, apparently a couple people helped out with it, and I think my favorite is the columns one because they actually put English text over the Japanese text, which I think is really cool that he did that for attention to detail, so that way it could be more digestible to people watching. Because obviously, Sakura Wars columns 1 does not have a fan translation as of this video, as of us talking, and then of course, the second one does. So he covers both of them. It covers the Dreamcast one and the Saturn one. So, yeah, it's kind of a sadness that the series didn't get its due in America. I know that I'm a big fan of it, and there's a lot of big fans of it, but it's just really a big sadness. I know I'm a big fan. Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't get to play it, and hopefully with this series is going to introduce it to his audience and all the people that sort of want to check it out or don't know about the series, which I think it's important.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the artwork is beautiful. The music is excellent, and the production value with the lip syncing and everything like that, they put so much. I mean, these were like huge mainline games in Japan, and you could tell. I mean, if anything, it was just that cultural divide, because they do have like, there's a lot of weebs in the U.S., but I mean, this is like a lot of the stuff here is like focusing on like the Victorian era, kind of like, or pre-Victorian era.
It's like the 1900s.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so maybe not Victorian era, but essentially, it's so it's even harder maybe for people from the West to be able to like understand or engage with like all of the jokes or the references and stuff like that. But the good thing is like folks in the scene have done a lot of hard work to try to like localize it and make it something that we can really enjoy. And I have to say, like, haven't really completed any of these games, but I've gotten into the one that Noah Steam did with his team, and also the one that Derek A-Team, Sakura Wars columns, and I have to say that they're really appealing now. I think, like, if you like Japanese anime, the characters are just so good. Like, the dialogue, the characters, it's easy to fall in love with these games for sure. So I'm really glad that that they're getting their due. And I think that it's cool that he's doing this series. I think it's probably more manageable than what Nick is doing, right? Because he's getting a little more focused with what he's having to review. You know,
he's only got 13 games versus 200 and something.
He might finish it before he dies.
Probably, yeah. Just and the videos are pretty lengthy too. They're about documentary size. So the first one's about, I think the first one's 2 hours. The other one's excuse me, a little bit less than that. And then the new one, the column's only about 30 minutes, but it's not really, doesn't really need to cover as much as it needs to for that one.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, if you haven't played it and watched, I definitely would recommend watching these. If you want to be spoiler free, I'm not sure if I want to watch the second one yet because I want to not be spoiled for the second one.
Fair.
I don't know how, because he goes through all the chapters, so I don't want to spoil all that. Even for the first one, I'm not quite done with it yet. So
is he doing like synopsis or?
Yeah, it's like a synopsis and review of it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want any spoilers, you want everything to just be fresh and experience it for the first time. Then maybe come back and just put a watch later on this, you know?
Yeah, I would watch it. If you can't watch it, I would at least just watch the portion of it that covers the talking about the game and the history, and then just because that way he'll get the view, and then that way you spoil it.
Yeah. Cool.
One thing to note is that he was also the lead translator when we did Soccer Wars GB.
Oh,
really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, okay. So fluent Japanese then.
Yeah, he studied in Japan. He studied Japanese for a while.
That's nice.
Was he on the cast we did for the Soccer Wars GB, or did he not? Was he not able to make that?
I don't think he was able to make it that day.
Okay.
I gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, he's more than welcome on a show for one of these days.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we'll have a good reason to bring him on one day.
I that's alluding to something. That's alluding to something.
I wish.
Nice.
I wish.
Okay. Well, we wish too.
Well, I'll definitely. Well, whatever Soccer Wars project you got cooked up, see when you better let me in on at least knowing about it. So I will be mad.
Speaking of, I just
joking.
added.
Love you, C1.
We probably do they have a C1? Do you guys have a web page or like a landing page for the stuff you've done? Because we need to add you to our friends section on our website. I just added Derek his Dreamcast Forever under our friends tab.
Oh yeah, I forgot to show that.
Tab on the web. Yeah, so for people who don't know, on the SHIRO website, there is a friends tab now. And if you just hover over it, you can get like the folks on there, or if you click on through it, it has the links to bring you to different pages.
Derek's page.
I literally just, those are the ones that just came off the top of my head, but I know there are many more. So yeah.
I don't have a website. I'd probably just link to all of our social medias, I guess, all our Twitter accounts.
Maybe if you guys create a link tree that has those, then I could just put the link to the link tree.
Yeah.
And that would link to all of the different members, you know. That would be a good way to do it. I think Starling did the same thing. They did like a link tree, and then that links
right
out
here.
to all of their various stuff. Yeah, so that would be a good way to do it. Cool. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we definitely want to continue to grow that part of the page so that people can see a bunch of cool stuff that's going on.
Exactly, and I think it's really great to show off our friends and sort of, I guess, flex on that, because I think showing them off and giving them as much attention as we can means that we help them out as well and give them, you know, the attention they need and deserve, of course.
For sure.
All right. Do you guys got anything else before we head out today?
Fly plaything. Fly.
Wait, what?
You are not ready. Seriously? That went over your head because you got into PlayStation in the 2000s. That was the Knight's ad for PlayStation, where they just dropped the PlayStation console off the Twin Towers or something like that.
Yikes. Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's probably not the worst thing that's dropped off the Twin Towers.
Pretendo. Oh yeah. There's an ad where they take the 64 and they stick it in like a skeet shooter, the launcher, and the guy like just blows it out of the sky. Pretendo.
It's fair. Pretendo PlayStation. Alrighty, so after our dark jokes, why don't we just try out our patrons? We
have a new one.
Show. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But I think we talked about it on the last one.
Wait, I thought we had a new.
Oh, we got the new. Let me see.
New.
The new
Hold on, I'm checking.
now.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, Josh Peters. Okay, yeah.
Nice.
That's it, Josh Pete. Or was
Juiced.
it? Juice Peters,
Peter.
yeah.
He's juiced.
I'm not commenting on that one. But anyways, we want to thank our patrons, Emerald Nova, Johannes Fetz, Lumu95, Derek, aka A-Team, Momphis, Nutrageous, Robert Ramsey, Tanuki Trev, and of course, Young Money So We. If you guys want to get shouted on the show or want to shout on the show and other cool perks, if you back us at the $10+ dollar range, we'll shout you out on the show and say how cool you are and how much we love you.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, and if, of course, if you can't back us, don't want to back us on Patreon, you could back us on a one-time financial backing by getting a shirt from our Threadless store. We have a lot of cool shirt designs on the site. We got this cool hand coming out of your shirt, so it's like your heart having Saturn pulling into that. Got this cool Japanese launch Saturn. The cool one I can't wear on the show because it will green screen out my shirt.
Yeah.
Of course, the chokehold, the classic Shiro shirts. We have a lot of cool designs on the shirt, and if you want to get it, you hold on one of those. Definitely go to our website, the Shiro Threadless store. It's on our website. You can click right here underneath our little tab right here. Go to Threadless, take you directly to the website. And then if you don't, and if you can't back us financially for any reasons, I definitely understand this this day and age. You can go to our webpage and you can subscribe right here. Or if there's pretend there's a subscribe button. Comment, like, subscribe.
You need to log out of your accounts when you're doing this so that folks can. Yeah, like. So never mind.
Yeah, but anyways, you can like, subscribe. Here's our video. You can the subscribe button. You can like.
You can create new videos.
Share
for a page. You can.
You can give us money.
Shadowmass says we're like a jazz combo where nobody knows how to end the song.
Yeah,
I agree. We're gonna start
like,
a
subscribe,
jazz combo.
comment.
That's right. We're gonna be called Jazz Domingo or Jazz Domingo, or maybe we could just be called Covered in Jazz. No.
I love being covered in jazz.
That joke is so worn out.
But yeah, and ring the bell and get notification when we stream, and you can check us out and say, hey, we love these guys. Here's this thing, or like we don't love these guys. So also go leave comments. We love comments. I probably should be doing more stuff for Shiro, but I've been really busy, so I'm gonna try my best and do that. I'm gonna see if I can. Would you guys want me to cut more videos and stuff? Maybe, I don't know.
I would love you to do more video. Are you talking about just doing content videos?
I think I want to do some more videos. I'm gonna try to write some scripts up again. I think I have some ideas for games.
You got a nice camera and you got some nice CRTs. I'd love to have you show them off.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe doing a video on that Uno game.
You should.
Just because it's so
folks should know the greatness that is Uno on the Saturn, which is like this epic Japanese anime adventure. It's like Uno, but the opening cutscene is just ridiculous. It's like makes you think you're gonna watch some great anime, and then it's like Uno.
Yeah, and also, yep, don't forget the magazine. Yep, that's coming soon. I think we're like right there. It's like so close, little tiny thing. Also, oh, that's on me. Crap, I forgot. That's my job.
That's on you.
That's on me. Crap, that's my fault for that.
It's out of my hands.
Everyone, say, Patrick, get off your lazy butt and review the magazine, please, so we can get it out.
You should do the game stream, but we do, and Knight is saying we want the game stream. But is that something that you could do later? Like, you don't have to do them back to back if it's too much, for you to do the show and then keep doing a game stream. You could always like go do some work or take a break and then come back later in the evening and do a game stream. You'd probably get a bigger audience.
Maybe I'll have to figure out a time. I actually can't do this because that stream setup you sent, it does not have the game stream portion of that, so.
Oh, did you seriously like wipe out? Oh, okay, but you could copy it over from the other profile, right?
I think I can, as long as I didn't delete the other profile.
I hope you didn't delete the other profile.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I could probably send that over.
Yeah, so we'll figure that out. I'll see if I have it in my trash can still. Nope, it got erased.
Also, yeah, I want to say if anybody, let's see, there's 14 people in live chat right now. So if any of you, are like big Saturn fans like us, and you have like that one game that is like your game, or you know about this game a lot. Like Random was telling me, he's devoted his life to studying VR virtual racing, right? And that's kind of his thing. Like he knows more about that game than anybody probably does. Nick did an amazing video on it too, so that only adds to the brain trust of information. But I welcomed him. I said, feel free to submit an article for the website. I'll read it over. I'll make sure that we like copy edit it and make sure that it like reads good. But I mean, I would love to. So if you have a game that you absolutely love and you want to gush about, and you have enough knowledge that you can write about it, feel free to submit an article for the website, and we'll edit it, make sure the grammar and spelling is good, and then we can publish it, and folks can like read your perspective on a specific game, because there's no way that we can possibly know everything about every game. Like I know about a lot of games, but I'm not like super in depth, except for a few out there that are like, that's my wheelhouse. So yeah, we would love to have people contribute for the website. And be able to have people read their thoughts and opinions on stuff like this. So yeah, so
reach out to us on the website or on anywhere else that we can reach us in.
Yeah,
but I think that's about it, guys.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, I guess that's it. I just have to tell you guys to remember, you must play Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn.
Yeah. Shout out to Adam Lee for our Patreon. Thanks for being a new Patreon. See you later, guys. Have a good night.